comment, isn't it?
Could be.
The letter? Yeah,
You want to?
yeah.
Sure. So I had a meeting with the DNR Waters for permit for it's a general fill permit for the ATV trail. You qualify for a general fill permit if you're under 10,000 square feet of fill. We're at like 4,600 or something like that. They were very hesitant. Usually those are kind of very easy to get. This one was, they were very hesitant to give it out. They want us to just stay on the roads versus have trails. So I have a letter written up. Basically, they wanted a letter from a county board member stating that reasons why we should be using a trail versus a road. I think, in certain situations, it makes more sense because the cost and the amount of wetlands that you have to cross, you can't get through certain areas. This is up by Solberg. These trails that we're talking about they're considered wetland after you get them wetland delineated, but they're trails that we mow. It's not like we're, going through a bog or something like that, but we mow them with the tractor every year. So anyways, the letter itself, basically it's stating that, Hicks Landing and Solberg Lake Road, due to the traffic that you get from residents there, and then even that campground expansion, curvy road, we're safer to be on trails if we can. And that's part of the goal, is to try to have the trails for that purpose, separating the two. So.
Okay, anything else you had from the public? All right, minutes from our October 8th and the 15th meeting. There's two sets in here. One was pretty short.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 8th and 15 meetings.
I'll second.
Okay. Have a motion by Jordan, a second by Michelle. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Motion carried. Vouchers are, Jules, do you have a paper copy of them, or? All right, we'll move on and we can pass them around. Forestry and Parks Ordinance Amendment for Chapter 398 Parks and Forests. Joel, I'll turn it over to you. You can explain what you're talking about there.
This is just the ordinance that we went through on the last meeting. The one change I think we need to make is just the wording of within 8 days. What later on in your packet, you'll see the reservation policy that we'll go through. And I think we need to have that be identical language, because the goal was to have it, if you do it before 8 days, 8 days and before. So the way it reads in this other one is 100% refund will be given for cancellations made 8 days prior to your reservation. Less the $10 cancellation fee and non-refundable $10 reservation fee. A 50% refund will be given for cancellation made 3 days prior to your reservation. So I think it should reflect that, I guess, on the ordinance. So they're reading the same, and then they hit the intent to what we were.
So, and I think on item D here, where we have it in red, it does say within 8 days. So when we put it in the actual ordinance, we need to make sure that it says within.
No,
we need it.
he's saying it should say made 8 days prior. So it should read a full refund will be given for online camping reservations that are canceled 8 days prior to the date of the reservation system. So you want to get rid of within. So on the ordinance, you want to cross out within.
Okay.
And just have it say.
So you're saying they have to cancel prior to 8 days?
Yes.
Yeah.
That are, yeah.
All right.
And then it'd be the same thing, get rid of the within before 72 and just put if 72 hours prior.
Okay. So get rid of
It should be if at least, I guess.
Find that, Jules, in there? All right. So when we forward this on to the board, what we'll vote on here is to forward on with those two changes.
Okay.
Anything else on that one?
Did you decide on sites yet? That, or are we gonna work on that through the winter, which will be?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I have a list.
Sure.
here
Okay,
of
I was
how
just
we
curious.
Separated it.
Does that need to be listed on the?
I don't think so because it gives us flexibility if,
Sure.
you know, then we don't have to change the ordinance every
Okay,
single time. we
okay.
go to
I just didn't know
public.
if you wanted to list that on the reservation policy so that people know that, hey, these sites are.
Yeah, I agree with Joe, though. If we put it in
Yeah.
the ordinance, it's permanent.
That's
If we-
fine.
If
I
we
just-
leave it
yeah.
off, we have
Yeah.
flexibility to change it if there's a
Okay.
problem.
Because we might, you know, it might be something where we relook at next year how many or what we're doing as far as where. So,
Okay.
All right. Is there a motion for this ordinance changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance with the changes presented.
I'll second.
Jordan made the motion. Patty second. Any other discussion about it? Questions? All those in favor? All right.
I do have the original. Jewel, do you want to
Opposed?
reprint this without the with-ins? Okay.
All right. What's the second part of that? Park use regulations. Or is that all part of what we just did?
that's
All
all.
right. All right. All right. So then we're moving right on to our fall timber packet. Everybody should have had an opportunity to review that ahead of time. So if you had any questions about any of the jobs.
I don't have any questions about the jobs. I do have, going back through it again, did that one job we had this spring that I guess we got a bid on it, but then they rejected the bid afterwards. Whatever.
So we
I
did
vaguely remember, I don't know if we ever cleared up the full subject on that.
we did have the one individual that bid on the jobs and didn't sign the contracts or bring his bond forward. And we did take his bond
Okay.
and put him on the no bidder list.
Sure.
And then we voted to put those to give, offer to the second place bidder on those.
And they accepted
And
them?
they accepted
Okay,
all.
okay,
So, yeah.
one of those things that you think about it then and then forget about it for a while, and I just, bringing this back up now, it brought it back into my memory.
So how many of these are rebids, Joe?
None. We
I
had,
don't see- I
we
don't
had
think
sold
any-
all.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, these are all brand new.
Yeah, and how many, I guess I didn't add up, how many were there? There was 16?
11 on this bid
11 on this
opening.
one. This spring it was 16. Okay.
Yeah, we sold this, so there's 30 total. We sold 20 because there was a direct sale in between
Sure.
the two.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions about anything or? I know some loggers are asking if we're lowering our minimums yet. and I said no. So we'll see what happens with the bids. Markets are pretty tight right now.
Yep, they're not great.
Yep. Markets are not great. There's certain species, like I see on a couple of these jobs, there's a little bit of balsam. I said that's almost,
Non-existent for
well, it's
sales?
almost, if there isn't a bolt in it where they can send it to a sawmill,
Yeah.
that's hardly,
And we have adjusted top size on certain, same thing with Tamarack, the market,
Yep.
you have to take it to Kakana for a load
Way
of
to
pulp.
Kakana?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it does not, it just, they can break even with it, but you're spending a whole day running your truck down for what? So,
right.
so we have adjusted top diameter on some of that just to get it harvested before if it's looking like it's gonna die, that kind of stuff so that there's, at least they can get bolts out of it and make it a viable harvest. So,
Sure.
The other thing that I'm hearing is that what's gonna be affected down the road is any pine sales we have. Viewers will take the stuff they can saw out of, but the pulp, it's almost impossible to get rid of pine pulp now, so. So that's all things that are gonna affect us down the road. All right.
Make a motion to approve the fall timber packet.
Okay, I have a motion by Jordan,
Second.
second by Patty. Any other discussion or questions about them? None being heard, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Annual work plan, Joe.
This is just something that we have to do every year for the administrator grant. So this has to be just approved, sent to the board and then approved by the board. And we send it in with a few other things to receive half my salary or close to.
Okay,
Everyone's favorite thing on there and whatnot, forest carbon. Have you heard anything about carbon credit stuff? I mean,
Where's that at?
It's still
it's on
just
page 2. There's just a little blurb in there about it. We haven't heard nothing, Nick.
No, I haven't heard any updates. I know we're about 6 to 8 months behind Bayfield and they've started to receive stuff.
Can you do any check chasing there, Nikki?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I mean,
If I don't get paid, I go after the money.
nothing's been sold, so there's nothing.
Oh, no. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
getting
Yeah, no,
checks on.
we-
It's not like they're not paying us.
So they're not using our carbon and making money off of it?
No.
All right, Joe, are you gonna stick around for the board meeting in case there's some questions from people about your plan?
I can, yeah.
Okay. All right, that being said, we just. I
no, he
think
wants to get outside. It's a nice fall day.
One of the last ones, yeah, yeah.
I'll let somebody else approve that one.
Yep.
Oh, is that the updated one?
Do you have the original for signatures? Oh, Jason has it, all right. All right, we're still on fall timber bids here, or, work plan.
This is incorrect, I think. Submitted for amendment by the Highway and Transportation Committee.
What did I print?
Oh,
I'll fix it.
Okay.
That's what you had told me, Joe,
Mm-hmm.
that I had the wrong committee on it.
Yeah.
all right, is there a motion to forward on the work plan to the full board for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Michelle.
I'll second.
Patty will second. Any other discussion about anything on there? And again, we're just forwarding on for full approval at the full board, so.
Is it possible to back out of that carbon credit contract? Since nothing's sold, nothing has been done, it's not a lucrative business, obviously, it's
I mean, what
kind
would
of,
be, I mean, there's a contract. What would they be breaking or what would it be?
that's what I was wondering, if it binds us to anything, because I still.
No, I think at 10 years is the first time we renew anything, and if nothing has happened in 10 years, I would assume we would
Right.
drop out or reevaluate it at that point.
They've done in-house work already. We might be liable for that if we back
That's what I was
out.
wondering, yeah.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be, I think, under the contract unless something is sold. There's no cost to us unless we choose to get out. So like,
Right.
say there's $100,000 worth of work and we just walked up to and said, we're done, we would owe them the 100. If there's $100,000 worth of work and all of a sudden markets didn't happen and they chose that this isn't the right thing to do anymore, they're on the hook for the 100,000. So we would
For
owe-
their work, right?
correct. We'd own nothing.
So right now it's just kind of hanging there.
Yeah,
Right.
They're moving forward. I mean, they're doing what they are. They had that third audit that got in the middle of everything. I don't remember what they called. Do you remember what it was called? There was some markets that didn't do well because there was like a foreign market they were bad credits is kind of how it summed up. So all these big companies said, whoa, I don't want to buy bad credits because someone's lying to me over in some other country. So I need an independent third person to audit the credits in order to guarantee these are good credits. So that's what extended the timeline, is they had a third party come in to say, yep, a new Blue Source is, these are real credits from Price County. Now whoever wants to buy them, they've been audited.
Certified, basically, is
yeah.
what it amounts to.
Yep.
So yeah, if we sit back and don't get any money, we're really, I'm not gonna say we're not out any money because we're out some of Joe and his
Joe did
staff's
work,
time.
Fred did work.
Right.
Yep.
But we won't owe anybody money if we let it go to the 10 years and say, we're not renewing, we're done.
But we already owe money towards the Silver Lake project. This was surety for the,
That was ARPA money that we put
yeah, it was
forward in
supposed to
there.
replace that though.
Right.
But if it doesn't, we didn't spend it
Right.
twice. So we put ARPA funding of 650,000 that when or if the ARPA money were to come, it would give us another opportunity to
yeah.
use, or not ARPA, yeah.
Right,
carbon
we
money.
would transfer some back in and you're right though, Jason, in your statement that if that carbon credit money doesn't come before the end of, was it 2025? Sometime we have to have the ARPA money spent and allocated for it.
Well, we've already done that. So ARPA's done. Joe has been allocated the money. We have a agreement to do the
Good
project.
times, Charm.
All we are saying is, was Joe's
Good times,
project what
Charm.
we wanted to do with ARPA? If not, we should replace it with the carbon funding, which we would have done the project with anyways. So we're just switching the timeline. If we never get that money, we still did the project. We just can't do additional projects that you would have done outside of your budget, which doesn't, we don't have anything. It's not like we have a list of, oh my gosh, this 650 needed to go to X, Y, or Z.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion, questions about the work plan? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Say- All right,
Aye.
opposed? Carried, we'll forward that on to the board. Campground reservation policy.
I guess we talk about Solberg all the time, but this is gonna be some at Smith Lake as well, or just Solberg? We're just gonna start with
There's gonna be some at.
some at Smith Lake
Smith
as well.
as
Okay,
well.
that's what I thought, but like I said, we're constantly talking about the expansion and everything at Solberg, and then it's like, oh, I always forget about that.
Yeah.
And this kind of covers our refunds that we discussed at our last meeting or 2 meetings ago.
The part that's in red down at the bottom is in red because I do not know. We're still going through the system and I don't know yet about the payment made online for crew camping units or if they have to do it at the campground. We haven't figured that out yet.
I think it'd probably be easier just to do it at the campground.
It might be.
No,
It might be, and it might be we're chasing money too. This year was the worst for people showing up and then not wanting to pay. It was a constant.
really?
Yeah.
So how do we define one family unit? A camper and 5 tents is one family unit?
No, we on our in another document or our other rules, it's family unit is considered to include a parent or parents with juvenile children. That's how we state it. So if you come with your wife and then you bring your daughter and her family and there's 2 camping units in there,
Okay.
then we charge. If they're all staying in the same camper, we don't, but basically it's you pull in 2 units, you're gonna get charged.
That's what I was assuming it was, but
When they pay, do they walk up to the sign and put money in that box, or is there a
There's a
person they pay?
post. There's a big metal post there that the money goes in.
The online, of course, will be you pay online,
Okay.
credit card.
So they're paying a box, not a person, right?
Yeah, it's just a
We
deposit.
have a person out there who's collecting it daily, I assume, Joel?
Daily when it's Memorial to Labor Day.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're monitoring that Jordan paid his extra site fee for
Yeah.
his additional family members. All right. Any other questions about the reservation policy?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the campground reservation policy.
Okay, we have a motion by Jordan,
I'll second.
second by Patty. Any further discussion? Michelle, Jason?
No discussion.
Hmm?
No.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So we will need a meeting and not another one this month, but the beginning of December.
Hey, if you can do it Thursday, I can be in person. Just throwing that out there.
If we do what?
On a Thursday. Because I'm traveling Sunday to Wednesday these weeks.
Oh, all right.
December's pretty wide open. We
Or I
are
can look
going,
at the screen.
yeah. Uh, Michelle. December's pretty wide open because there's very few committees meeting. We are going to be introducing a schedule for 2025 so that the public knows, so that committees know exactly what day every month that you potentially would have a committee meeting, and then you'd skip them if there's not enough content. We could start that early, but it doesn't matter for December. You guys can just schedule what needs to be scheduled. Like I said, it's pretty wide open, being
The
an
5th or
off
the
month.
12th, Joel?
Well, these bids are due the 9th at 4 PM.
Oh.
No, I just put, that's in yellow just because we
We'll
need to
change
change
it.
that. That's all. That's just,
Okay.
highlighted. It's highlighted so that,
Well, let's go with the
That-
12th.
that's the
if
part
That's
we'll-
okay with everybody.
change.
I made quadruple check that somebody didn't steal that date already. Wide open.
Okay, we'll go with the 12th so Michelle can be here. She's chomping at
So
the
that'll
bit to
be
get back in
the
her chair.
11th and Jordan on that.
I know, it looks really lonely. Somebody should sit in for a minute.
9. Let's go with 9.
I want to vote for 8.
Oh, Patty wants 8.
What day
Jason?
is this? Wait a
Jason's
minute.
good with 8.
What day
Jordan?
is this again?
The 12th. Thursday, the 12th.
Oh, Thursday. 9.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I brought my whole list.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, 9 o'clock. I like you say, and when we get to the full board, we're gonna address this
Yes.
flip floppy stuff, so we're gonna be standardized on our meetings, so. All right. That's it. We're done. We're adjourned.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle. Well,